Right, thank you for staying with us right here at KUTV on the spot around 32 minutes past 2 p.m. And as I had promised you, we'll be having Abdul Sidi right here for the past around 30 years and, going the whole experience in matters World Rally Championships. He has traveled the world and he'll be telling us all about that. But then why don't you introduce yourself, sir? And thank you for making time to join us right here at KUTV.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me here. This is the first time I've been to the Kenyatta University grounds, and it's a massive, beautiful place. Well done. My name is Abdul Sidi, and been a former Safari Rally navigator, rallied for over 30 years in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Africa, across Africa, Paka, Malaysia. I navigated, and most of you people will probably know better that I navigated Patrick Njiru as one of my leading rally drivers. And among others, as a runner, I also navigated the world champion, Gregor de Mavius from Belgium in the Safari Rally. And I did 18 Safari rallies and finished 15 of them.
All right. And the World Rally, the 2022 that, concluded, were you there?
Yes, I had to be there. That's my Christmas. Every year I have to be there.
How was it? I mean, for us, you could paint a picture for us who were not able to be in Naivasha. How was the experience for you? And obviously, the most memorable moment in Naivasha?
Personally, okay, I stopped going to watch because I've had my fun. I am part of the media team and always been in the media center, reporting and giving updates. I've got a update groups, ASRA, Abdul Sidi Rally Advisor Group, and I do updates to people across the world who follow me. And yes, the rally was fun. I think it was unlike in the past where we've been talking about rain. This year it was full of dust, and just the last couple of days it rained a bit. But yes, people had a rough time, but they will remember the event most likely because it was dusty. The cars were having problems. The dust was being sucked into the electronic system, the air system, and some had to actually stop and they had to look after their cars before getting to the service to make sure the cars are well prepared again for the next loop.
Did you have a personal favorite moment, the whole in those from since it started, from KCC, then all the way to Kasarani, moving on all the then proceeding all the way to Naivasha? Did you have a favorite moment?
No, it's generally the rallies become short, and it's most of the action is based around KWS in Naivasha, and yes, the longest stage was 31 kilometers. And you had a total of 19 stages over 3 days. And the guy who really made me sort of like his driving and admire him is Rowan Pera, very young guy, 21-year-old. For the first time I've seen him from a very close range, and the guy is daring. He's very fit, very fast. But there again, the parents are also former rally drivers, and no doubt it's in the family, it's like food.
All right, and I love the fact that you've mentioned, Ravon Pera, 21 years old. Will you say, young people are actually coming on board and taking the space that, for the old people like you, have always had there? When you look at the likes of, Carl Tundo, the kind of age, but then youngsters are actually coming on board and, taking over.
Yes, it's true. We've got also... in Kenya, you've got a young FIA team of Makre Kimathi, Hamza Anwar, and Jeremy Wahome, and the sole lady driver Maxine Wahome.
Yeah.
These are all supported by FIA, and they've also been supported by leading sponsors in Kenya, KCB, Safaricom, and it's very encouraging. Yes, it's now time to breed or grow up with the youngsters, and the guys, the Wazees like Carl Tundor, Boldev Chaga, they've actually semi-retired. Carl Tundor appeared in the Safari Rally, but that's like a one-off. But yes, he's won the safari a few times. He's the Kenya National Rally Champion, African Rally Champion, defending champion. So he's done so well, yeah.
All right, let's talk about the lessons that you learned from that particular rally. Any kind of lessons that you picked up?
Like I said, I admire the drivers, the young guys, and this is their daily life. From here, they've got to Estonia, and they don't seem to have a rest, and they're enjoying their fun. The rallying is naturally okay. Around the world is the same rally cars, same driving styles and everything, but it depends how daring you are and how experienced you are and how good a car is. And Ford, Toyota made it very simple, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a historic finish, and well done.
Right, we'll definitely now talk about the difference of the cars and everything about that. But then now for the viewer to even understand, because I mean when we were seeing this particular cars, going like more than 100 kilometers per hour, basically. We're just seeing the cars and the names of them, but then we don't really understand what's who are actually inside. You have a deep experience being a rally navigator. How has it been for the past 30 years? Let's even start from there for you personally.
See, people actually talk a lot about the driver, but without a navigator, driver is going nowhere. I will be very honest.
So I mean, technically, the driver wouldn't function properly without having the navigator.
A good navigator will guide the driver to the end without any major incidents. Supposing the navigator was not efficient, he was not doing his job well, and he entered the control 1 minute earlier than his time, 60 seconds penalty. The difference between the winners here is 14-15 seconds. Can you imagine you're dropped from first to last, and you're a navigator in that car, and the driver is relying on your ability. So the navigator is the brain and the eye of the team. He is the guy who is reading the notes. He's actually singing the notes, pace notes. Every 30-40 meters, you're singing to the driver, and the driver is dancing to your music when the driver is doing 150, 180 kph. So it's not like, oh, I'm sorry, it's here. Oh, sorry, it's here. No, it's a constant, and you have to be very focused in doing that.
But let's start from the basics now. Who chooses the navigator? I mean, do you personally, as a navigator, say I'd want to have this particular driver? What happens there?
The driver has got the full responsibility of choosing who he wants to get, who the navigator should be. A navigator is like a wife. Okay, and the husband. That is the relationship. And within the competition, something goes wrong, you cannot displace your navigator. You have to stick with the person until the end. The next rally comes, then you can choose another navigator. But in the meantime, you're stuck with the guy you decided to sit with, and that's it. It's not that navigator to say, I want to go and navigate him, or no. It's the driver who chooses the navigator.
Right. And for the past 30 years, you have been always a navigator. Have you ever, wanted to be a driver, and say that I want to, now be technically, as you put it, the husband?
No, initially, yes, I thought maybe one day I'll start driving and going sideways and full throttle and all that. But then after a while, I decided, no, let me just stay as a navigator. There's a cheaper way of enjoying myself. And secondly, I can't afford to buy a rally car. That's big money. And the other thing, the drivers have got their own skills.
Mm-hmm. No. Let's talk about that particular the difference. Of being a driver. We probably see Maxino Home there, and now the navigator, her navigator. What are the differences there?
A driver has got his own responsibility. He's the owner of the car. He's got everything. He's got the ability to control the car at 150, 200 kph. But the navigator is the singer in the car. He's singing to the driver the music, and the driver is dancing to that music, turning right, turn left, everything is there. So the navigator plays a very, very big role in controlling that driver. The driver, yes, is the owner of the car. He has spent so much money to buy a car. A Skoda Fabia is 25 million Kenya shillings. One suspension of a Skoda is 1.2 million. Tire and rim is 50,000 shilling. Transmission is 3.5 million. Turbocharge is 350,000. 1 liter of F-gas, use DEGE fuel, it gives you 2.5 kilometers. 1 drum of F-gas, 200 liters, was about 80,000. Now it's more. You need about 3-4 drums to rally. You need to have that sort of cash, and the drivers can afford, they can do that. And the navigator has to fulfill his duties to justify what the driver is expecting on him to enjoy the sport.
So basically, the driver can actually, sack the navigator and say, I don't need you anymore.
No, it's true. Very true.
But not in between the competition.
No.
Right.
But that's not the relationship that the driver navigators have. No, it's always been good. It's only that sometimes at the end of the event, say, no, please, next time I want somebody.
Right.
But then it's not a fight.
What would you say is the most important component, the relationship between, you as the navigator and then the driver?
You need to stay very calm, polite. In my case, I never smoked. I never got drunk in my life. Go to bed early so that you're up early for the following day for the action. You don't eat any bad food like meat and all that. So you avoid vomiting and stomach problem and all that. So you need to be very careful and active and focused in what you're doing.
Right. You have mentioned about the whole the prizes, and on Thursday we saw Maxino Home being awarded the 1 million. But we'll actually get to that about the whole the finances in rally. But then I want us to dive into matters understanding the driver and also the navigator. Will you say do you have a preferred probably driver for all these particular years that you have traversed the world and become been the navigator for the driver? Will you say will you name one particular driver that is your favorite?
No, I will be very unfair. All the drivers,
probably a list, maybe the five.
Yeah,
first five?
I can. All the drivers I navigated were great guys who encouraged me and let me enjoy the sport the way I wanted. The drivers very good: Patrick Giroux, Hazar Anwar, Marco Brigetti, Gregoire Dimevius, Bimal Patel, Bimal Shah, and all this. With Bimal Shah, we still hold the record for going Flosspa uphill, the fastest time of 17 minutes 45 seconds, 21 kilometers, 44 corners going uphill. We still hold the record. So they're special things with each and every driver, but generally all the drivers were fantastic mates and friends.
Right. Remember also, viewers, you can send in these particular questions for Abdul Sidi at KUTV Kenya on Facebook, KUTV_Kenya on Twitter. Use the hashtag on the spot or social media. Team will be telling me if there are any questions for you. Now, my main question is about the finances. You were mentioning some huge figures, and even my colleagues and I was with Evans and seeing Maxino Home being awarded 1 million Kenyan shillings. And we were saying 1 million is a lot when you look at some particular other sports. Maybe it was football. 1 million probably is a lot, but then for rally, 1 million will it really help her a lot?
It's a big amount.
Mm-hmm.
1 million is quite big, but don't forget the drivers have got extra expenses, and they need that sort of money. Traveling, accommodation, looking after your service crew, looking after the car, the tires, the fuel, everything is on you. That money is not for you to put in the pocket and go and enjoy yourself. No, you're restricted to your sport. Okay, you're given a car by manufacturer or whatever, but at the end of the day, you're buying certain things: fuel, tires, feeding your service crew, accommodation for your service crew, traveling up and down, car carrier. All this is extra money. So the 1 million finishes very quickly.
Right.
Quickly.
What happens to a particular driver who is very enthusiastic about motorsport, but then pocket-wise, financially, they're not really able to actually, come up and even, buy most of these particular, spare parts and everything, and even just getting into rally? What happens to, this particular?
You want to be a rally driver? Your parents must be rich.
There's no shortcut for that.
No. Rallying doesn't do you any favor. You have to commit yourself, and for you to enjoy the sport well, you need to spend the money. There is no shortcut to it, because the car, first of all, has to be safe. The preparation, everything has to be according to the rules of the game, the sport. Yeah, the roll bars and all that. Every day before the rally, the scrutineer checks, and if he sees your helmet is a bit scratched on one side, you need to spend another 50,000 to buy helmet. Hands device, head and neck support, if that is cracked over, 70,000 shilling. If your overall, fireproof overall, double layer, has got a cut somewhere out, 80,000 shillings. Where are you going to get all this money from? So you need to be very much prepared. The sponsors are there, but are they going to support you, fully support you? It's very difficult.
Right.
The sponsors, thank you KCB, thank you Safaricom, thank you Kenya Airways, and these are the people who are actually letting the sport grow in Kenya. But
you really have to be rich.
You have to be rich.
30 years you've been a navigator. How much have you used personally? There's a particular conversation we were having yesterday, and the answer, actually shocked me. But then I'm pretty sure the viewers will actually want to know. You've been mentioning some huge numbers, but then personally, you as Abdul Sidi, how much have you used since you started?
First of all, I do train people, and like I told you, I train if you're rally driver, navigators, or controllers, safety marshals, safari rally at 500 marshals.
Indeed, and we'll definitely get to that about your particular
I don't
academy.
charge.
Yes.
And the reason why I don't charge, because I didn't spend money in where I am today. I enjoyed the sport to the highest level. I traveled the world at the highest point. I spent time with the best drivers in the world. I went to the best countries in the world. I stayed in the best hotels. I flew in good air flights. All that I didn't pay because my drivers were paying for me. I only spent 1,000 shilling from my own pocket. Over 30 years of rallying at the highest level, 1,000 is peanuts. 1,000, Patrick, if you're listening, again, Patrick Jiru called me from Mombasa and said, Abdul, can you go to the Air of Kenya and get your competition license renewed? That time, the license was 990 shilling for 1 year. The competition license starts from January, finishes in December. I said, no problem. So I went and got my license renewed for 990 shilling. For your information, the license now is 35,000 shillings. That 1,000 shilling to date, Patrick has not paid me. That's what I spent.
So apart from that, you basically didn't spend anything.
I didn't spend anything, and I enjoyed myself.
Let's talk about your rally academy. When did it start? When did you start this particular academy, and what majorly do you focus in that particular academy?
I first of all, I knew there are lots of people who were interested in the sport, and I started this thing in 2010 when I retired from the sport competitively, and I started with the 7 children, Makraya Kimathi, Riaz Ismail, and these were all my students. And then from that 7 people, it grew up to thousands of people in Kenya. I now teach in Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi. I'm the only one who does it in Africa, teaching. Now, the specific training sessions, if you want to be a rally driver, then you have to have your own car. You need to have a car, and navigator or driver, you need to have a license, driving license, and you need to be over 18 years old and do that. Now, once you have got the driving license, you can now buy a competition license. Then you prepare yourself with a rally car and all that. It's an expensive way of starting how to rally. But if you don't have those things, the documents have just pointed out, you can be a timekeeper, controller, safety marshal, anything in the sport itself. So I've trained people to have those sorts of qualities that you are now used by the rally organizers, like Safari Rally, used my 500 marshals who are timekeepers, officials, safety officials, everything in there. So that's the best way of getting involved in the sport. Instead of watching the rally in the sport from the other side of the wall, you're on this side of the fence. You're part of the team, you're working, and nowadays even the organizers, they give you allowance and all that, and you enjoy yourself.
All right. And Kenya will be playing host for this particular event, the World Rally Championships till 2026. What does this mean for your particular academy? Enriching, seeing more of the likes of Macri.
You see, the more people I use, the more the organizers also get the chance to use the RS Motor Rally Sport, which is organizing the event in Machakos on the new circuit. They all also want to use part of my students for safety controllers and all that.
But then now, because pretty sure, even rally enthusiasts out there now, apart from even your academy, what does this mean for right now in 2022? For the next 4 years, we'll be, hosting this particular event. What does this mean for Kenya to be hosting this particular event?
Kenya Safari Rally is one of the best events in the World Rally Championship, and it's the only country outside Europe that entertains and hosts a World Rally Championship event like the Safari Rally. Apart from that, the Safari Rally this year, we had about over 200,000 visitors from outside Kenya who had come to watch the Safari Rally. So economy, the tourism and all that, the government directly earns money from that. So the government also promotes tourism, and people come here, they watch a rally, watch countryside, wildlife and all that. So there are lots of gain. It's not that you're waiting for the cars to come race and go. No, we are here to gain directly, indirectly with what the sport is doing.
Right. And back to even the just concluded WRC 2022 edition. As someone who has been in this game for quite a long time, and someone who was there on the behind and seeing how everything is going on, will you point out some areas that maybe the organizers, maybe the government didn't do as properly that you would, with your experience, you feel like it would be better if it was achieved in the next year?
Let me personally say the event was very well organized, and the support that we've had from the government, especially the President Uhuru Kenyatta and CS Amina Mohamed, they have been directly involved in promoting and attracting this event. So the government has put all its effort, the police and it's all been there. The organizers have done brilliant. They've organized very nice stages, and it's left good mark behind. There's no criticism that you need to improve on this before we come next year. No, the drivers I talk to, they say, first of all, Kenya has got very friendly people. They're very welcoming, and the rally itself is brilliant. We want to come back.
Right, you have mentioned that particular comment, and I remember even talking to Akina Anwar, telling me how Uganda is one of the best places for rallies, drivers and navigators to be in. Do you have a favorite place, or rather country that you just love to be there inside the car and navigating? Kenya.
Yeah.
All time 254.
All Kenya. Home is best.
Apart from Kenya, any other that you?
Yeah, I've been to other countries. I remember Rwanda. You drive on the right hand side.
Actually, for that, I wanted to how does this particularly kind of changes being in Kenya, we are used to you're driving on maybe on the right hand side, but then in Rwanda they drive on the left hand side. How does this affect the mentality and everything, the preparation?
Psychologically, you have to be prepared, because here you're always on the left hand side. You want to turn right, you turn from left, right. But here you're staying on the right, driving, and if there's a roundabout, you're not going roundabout this way, you're going this way. So everything is opposite. So you need to be focused that you're not crisscrossing and breaking the rule.
Right. So that means even when you in Rwanda, and like now in Kenya, when you're preparing this particular pace notes, it's easier for you because you do know the roads of Kenya, and the tarmac and everything, the dirt roads and all that. You're quite familiar with the Kenyan roads, but then coming now to Rwanda, you really have to the traveling?
You need to get used to the local environment, and everything is different. So you need to be mentally fit and ready for the changes.
All right. There's a particular comment that I've seen here on our text messages, and it says, "What goes on through your mind as both the rally driver and the navigator? What goes on in your mind? You're going more than 200 kilometers per hour. The fastest the fastest you've gone is
220.
220. What goes on through your mind? Because personally, being in a car that is going more than 100 kilometers per hour it's exhilarating. Now, what goes on through your mind double that?
One thing, as a navigator, you should never be afraid of speed. And once you're in the car, your mind should be fixed. No double-minded, oh, I wish I can do this or this. No, it's fixed because you know you're going at a very high speed and you need to concentrate. You can't break your concentration. And at that time, you even don't think of any accident or roll or anything. Your safety does not even hit your brains. You're just concentrating on calling those notes and you're sticking to the environment.
All right. And as we even conclude this particular conversation, the kind of rules have changed. The rules that were even used this particular edition they just concluded are different from when you started. How does this change even for rally drivers who are there and even now?
The rules, motorsport has got. They keep on changing the rules to make the event safe for the drivers, for the spectators, and for everybody concerned. And especially, for example, as a rally driver and as a rally, the crew, driver, navigator, once you're in the competition, you cannot receive any outside assistance. If your car stops outside the service area, if your brother is rallying, you cannot even give him a small screwdriver. And if you are spotted by the official of the organization that you have given this guy something, he just has to call the chief clerk of the course and say car number so and so is received. You don't need any video evidence. You're disqualified. You can be given water to drink, but you can't be given water to put in the radiator. So everything that is within the car, the driver, the navigator, and the tools on the car is the only thing that you are allowed to use if you break down. Apart from that, if you're even pushed, it's an offense. If you're in the car and you start moving without having tied your seatbelt or your helmet, and the guy, the official of the rally is standing there as a spectator and reports you, he's a judge of fact. His word is final. You're disqualified.
Right. Another particular and interesting question right here. Revan Perry, won the Toyota, and we did see a number of Toyota cars actually shining there. For the driver, when they're choosing the particular cars, how important is it to know that I'd want to maybe use a Subaru or maybe a Toyota or all that?
In fact, it's very difficult for you to choose that I want to be in this team. It's the team chooses to employ you.
Right.
The Toyota thinks Revan Perez is the best guy, we want to employ him. So he doesn't. He thinks and he knows that Toyota is the best car he can drive. So he goes there. He cannot say, no, I don't want to drive for you, I want to drive for Subaru. No, it's very difficult.
So basically you're saying that maybe as a driver, personally, I register and have the license, I as Stanley Nyeringita, and I say that I want to drive probably say Mercedes Evo 10, that I'd be driving this particular car. That's not my sole decision that it is.
As a privateer, you can drive any of the cars.
Right.
The Mitsubishis, the Subarus, and all Skodas and all that. But when you enter the works team, somebody has employed you. Because he's seen you're doing very well in the Mitsubishi, can I give you the Toyota? So you change that model. So now you're employed by the works teams and you're given the car, the service, everything by the works team.
Do you have a personal maybe car that you feel it has always worked for you? You're the driver?
I still have memories of the Nissan 240 RS, Nissan 200 SX Silvia, rear wheel drive, turbocharged, crushed gearbox, and always sideways, always on the ground, and you can hear the echo, the sound and all that. Yeah, that's my somehow I don't like the present cars. They're too light, and from corner they jump into the other corner. The olden cars were always on the ground, sideways, and it used to be fun.
How has technology changed all this? Because maybe when you look at even how the petrol kind of systems from now in 2022 and when you even started back then, obviously technology has changed. Has it been for the better?
Yeah, every season there is an improvement. And basically the safety is very important. They work on that. But now the cars are small, but they're very fast. They're turbocharged cars, four-wheel drives and all this. And the cars are going even faster.
Right. Thank you very much. And I'd obviously give you this particular opportunity for your last words. You look at that particular camera, your last words, maybe advice to drivers or maybe other navigators. Because driving is quite expensive, as you said, but then navigating maybe is cheaper. But then your last words, sir.
Well, like I said, I enjoyed myself, and I've seen the world, and I've got lots of fans. I've got lots of people who admire my work and admire my position, and I have personally. To the spectators, look at the safety, your safety, the driver's safety. Don't do anything silly on the stages. And if you want to learn about the sport and improve your technology, whatever, please come to me. I am quite willing to assist you to become the next rally king or queen of this world.
Right. And where's the academy located? Maybe also social media handles and all that?
Yeah, it's all on Facebook, Abdul Sidi, and I train at Gara Sports Club in South Sea or GP karting in Langata. And these are the people who provide me with the grounds for free of charge because I don't charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other thing that you'd like to add?
No, I'm all right.
All right. Thank you very much, and welcome to Kenyatta University once more. Maybe after this particular interview, you can have a stroll around the school. But then, thank you once again, Abdul Sidi, a rally advisor and also principal for the Rally Academy. We'll definitely get to interact with you more about how the academy fares on. That is all we had for you right here. Thank you for staying tuned to all the questions that that were there. But basically, hope they have been answered. We're taking a short break. When we come back, it is the last bit of this particular show. We get to interact in matters local and international sports. So stick around. KUTV Kenya, that is on Facebook. KUTV_Kenya on Twitter using the hashtag #OnTheSpot. Stay with us.